Okay, so welcome to those of you who are new to the network or still thinking about joining, to those groups who have taken part for many years. I know some of you on the call have, and to some of our volunteers who have kindly come along today to chat to you and just to hear from you as well. So yeah, welcome to our Climate Nature Friendly Communities Network info session. Like I say, if you could stay on mute, that would be great, and then we'll have time at the end for chatting. And I will be sending this recording out soon after as well, so don't worry about taking lots of notes. Okay, so we're going to go through a bit of an overview of Keep Scotland Beautiful, and then the network where it sits within the work of Keep Scotland Beautiful, run through the support and resources available, that's all free, and the recognition, how you can get involved if you are not already a member of our network, and then we'll hear from some groups and volunteers. So for those of you who don't know too much about Keep Scotland Beautiful, I thought I'd give you a really quick introduction. As it says there, we are your charity inspiring action for our environment. And we've been a registered charity for over 25 years. We had our 25th anniversary last year, but our roots go way back. We started out very much in, I think, the 60s, focusing a lot on litter. And over the years, we've grown. And our vision now is for a clean, green, sustainable Scotland. And we aim to achieve this by raising awareness through public campaigns. So you might have heard of our Clean Up Scotland or our Spring Clean Scotland campaign, educating our young people through initiatives like our eco schools and our climate action schools programs, and supporting behaviour change at local and national level. We align all our work with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which you can see on the wheel there, which some of you might be familiar with. And our 4 core themes that we work around are combating climate change, tackling litter and waste, restoring nature and biodiversity, and improving places. And those of you that are here that are part of our network already, and all our groups that we support through our Climate Nature Friendly Communities Network, are generally doing most of those 4 things. So you really are key and core to the work of Keep Scotland Beautiful. So our network sits in our community engagement strands of work, and there's a few other programs there. Our Heritage, Our Future is all about engaging communities with their heritage, and looking at the impacts of climate change on heritage. And then Clean Up Scotland, which I've mentioned, is our big litter picking campaign. And then our Climate Nature Friendly Communities Network, which is why you're all here today. So we support around 250 community gardening groups through our network, and they're right across the country, from Dumfries and Galloway up to Gairloch in the Highlands, across to Aberdeen in the east, and we've got a group on the Isle of Coll as well in the west. So it does go right across Scotland. So whether it's greening a local area, starting a food growing project, conserving an area for wildlife, we know that community gardening can have huge impact for both people and places. Our network supports groups across Scotland to improve their local environments through direct action, creating spaces for people and nature, and the programme aims to tackle the 2 key gaps of well-being of the community and the well-being of our environment. So underneath our umbrella network, we have 2 initiatives, Beautiful Scotland and It's Your Neighbourhood, and they're all about supporting and encouraging, inspiring. They should be fun, they should be rewarding, and it's about us being able to thank you and celebrate everything that you do, and they're free to take part in. So what exactly are Beautiful Scotland and It's Your Neighbourhood? So they're supported by the RHS, and they're under their Britain in Bloom campaign, and they focus on the 3 pillars of gardening and horticultural achievement, environmental responsibility, and community participation. It used to be very much mainly local authority entries when it was called Scotland in Bloom decades ago, and it was mainly focused around horticultural displays. But now it's very much more about community involvement, everyone coming together to make their place better for people, the planet, and for nature. It's Your Neighbourhood is a key starting point for smaller groups or places, and isn't competitive. It's basically about supporting and celebrating what a group is doing. Beautiful Scotland is a bit more of an advanced step, which brings together a number of groups to look after a large area like a whole village or a town, and has a competitive element to it. The main thing for both is, though, that it should be rewarding, positive, and they're free. A little look at last year. So last year we celebrated almost 250 groups through the network. from 30 different local authority areas. And these groups were regenerating local spaces, so it might be derelict land, their streets, or even a whole neighbourhood, village, town, or city. Through direct actions we've mentioned, so litter picks, planting trees, growing fruit and vegetables, creating clean, green, sustainable spaces for people and nature to come together. We have a wonderful, well, they're not really a pool of volunteers, a team or a family of volunteers. Some of them are on the call today. So we trained and empowered 40 volunteers last year, and they are the lucky ones that get to come out and visit you for support, guidance, and recognition. We held 2 annual celebration and showcase events to inspire and give thanks. And that's a great chance to get together and share and inspire each other. We have 35 national special awards to reward exemplar actions, such as ones for biodiversity, climate change, and community engagement. Again, a great way to get your work recognised. And we organised and took part in 4 regional networking and celebration in-person events, and also had some online sessions for peer-to-peer learning and to encourage the formation of new groups to take positive action. And the figures, the last 2 bullet points, are really definitely, I know they're an underestimate, but it's just to show you a little bit about how many volunteer hours are going in from our network groups and what that equates to in terms of economic value. So it's a massive input you're all doing into local economy and what you're doing for your local areas. So thank you from me. So what support resources is available through the network? There's obviously the network, which, like I say, is almost 250 groups. You're all at different stages of your growing journey, a wide range of skills and expertise, and you're all facing similar challenges or have been through things that another group might just be facing. So it's about connecting up with each other and learning from each other and inspiring and getting ideas and supporting each other as well. There's myself. I'm always there at the end of an email or the phone. I've been working at Keep Scotland Beautiful since 2008, and I've been involved in Beautiful Scotland and It's Your Neighbourhood since then. So built up some really good relationships, and kind of, if there's something that you're wanting help with, I hopefully will know another group that has been doing similar. So yeah, do reach out to get in touch with me. We have some dedicated web pages. That QR code, if you take a photo of it, will take you to Climate and Nature Friendly Communities Network pages. So just have a look through all those different pages. We have an interactive map, so you can see if there's any other groups in your area you might want to link up with. We also have a page that lists all the groups in local authority order, and you can click through, and each group we create a web page for. So we put your social media links on there if you've given them to us when you register. If you want to send us a photo for your page, we can add that up. Also on the network pages, there is inspiring case studies. There's various guidance, advice and resources. So yeah, if you go and have a look on those pages, hopefully you can find the things you need. I sent out a quarterly e-newsletter. I'm hoping to send one out next week, and it has inspiring stories from our groups. We're always looking for stories, so do send them to us. Photos, videos. We have a section that a few of our volunteers write for, which might have excuse me, some guidance and advice on planting, or just their thoughts on groups they've visited. There's a funding section where we put links to any external funding or resources we know about. We highlight any campaigns or activities Keep Scotland Beautiful is doing, in case there's anything that's useful for your group. And we also have a little section for the Archess and for the CALI, the Royal Caledonian Horticultural Society. So again, there might be things that are of interest to your group there. I mentioned our wonderful volunteers before. So they're available for mentor support, and that's through email, phone or video calls, and also visits as well. So if you're taking part in Beautiful Scotland, there's a set time that they will visit. And for It's Your Neighbourhood, the time is between April and September, and for It's Your Neighbourhood, it's about an hour informal friendly visit, and it's just so they get to have a look around your project and find out what you're getting up to, who's involved, that kind of thing. And then they write up a really useful report highlighting what you're doing really well, and also giving some helpful advice or recommendations for things that will help you progress if you wish to. And like I say, we're always looking for new volunteers. It's a great way to visit inspiring groups, pinch some ideas for your own, and just to share your passion and enthusiasm for community gardening. So do get in touch if you would be interested in becoming a volunteer. We have a number of recognition and events through the year. Every group, whether you're in Beautiful Scotland or It's Your Neighbourhood, will receive a certificate highlighting your achievements. And we have our celebration and networking events, seminar. We do press through the year on kind of the results that's going on. And then we have case studies and news stories. So yeah, there's a lot of recognition and events we do. The resources, so our cleanup resources, we have dedicated Cleanup Scotland web pages. You can have a look on those through that web link. And we have downloadable resources, social media cards. And there's a dedicated community litter hub that has all the resources you'll need. And just a wee call out for our Spring Clean Scotland, which runs from 13th of March to 24th of April. We're really hoping, last year, I think we had over 40,000 people took part. And it's just a great way to bring people in your community together, and you never know, you might get some volunteers for community gardening on the back of it. And it's a great way for us to be able to shout out about how many people are getting involved and the problem, the issue of litter that's out there. We also have our Garden for Life resources. So Keep Scotland Beautiful is part of the Garden for Life Forum, which is a forum of environmental organisations who are all interested in gardening for life, whether that's butterflies, bugs, frogs. And there's some really good downloadable guides on those web pages, and they're really nice to print out and take along to events if you're wanting to educate your community, or if you want some advice for your own project. Every year we have an optional theme for groups, and this year we're celebrating 60 years of our Beautiful Scotland campaign, and hope that all of you will join in our celebrations across the whole network. And we'd especially love to support and recognise any of you here today who aren't part of our network, and would encourage our non-judge Beautiful Scotland entrants and any group who works in partnership across their village, town or city to maybe give the Beautiful Scotland competition a go. We think the anniversary is a great reason to do this, and we have a lot of mentor support to help you. So don't be daunted by it, give it a go. As well as our 60th anniversary, our Diamond anniversary, we're tying in with the official theme for the 2026 International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development. And their theme is People Power, Creating a Sustainable Future Through Volunteering. So I think they're two really good themes, and we look forward to seeing what you come up with. Also, through our being part of the Bristol in Bloom campaign, you get access to support and resources from the RHS. So there's access to discounted insurance, which I'm told is very reasonable. I think it's under £100 for the year, and it covers a wide range of things. So it's well worth looking at. They also send out regular e-newsletters. They've got a free plant advisory service, and they've got a really good online community resource portal as well. So why do groups take part? I've used this quote before, so those of you who've attended will have seen it before, but I think it's a really lovely one to encompass why groups take part. So Ray from Lauder and Bloom. So with the help of Keep Scotland Beautiful, we have gained plenty of inspiration, which has significantly improved our community green spaces, along with our growing wildlife and climate-friendly practices, which are now seeping into our wider community. Keep Scotland Beautiful also provide us with really useful national recognition for all our efforts. It's hugely motivating to our group. Lauder and Bloom really benefits from being part of this big nationwide supportive family, all working towards the same positive aim of making our communities better places for us and our wildlife. So yeah, I just thought that's a really good quote that sort of says it all, really. And then, so if you took part last year, just a wee reminder, you have to re-register for this year. And if you haven't taken part and you would love to, then that QR code or the web link will take you to the web pages, and you can find the registration form. It's a really, really simple form to fill in. And the deadline this year is slightly different. It's the 5th of April. Okay, so if you want to save up your questions for the very end, I'd now like to hand over to a couple of groups who are going to tell you a little bit about themselves and why they take part in the network. So first up, we have Growing Glenburn. So I think it is Sandy who's speaking.
Yeah, hello there. I'll turn the video on, and my partner in crime, Francis, is with me.
Brilliant.
Growing Glenburn. We are based in Paisley. We are within what used to be the kitchen garden of a a big mansion house that was on the outskirts of Paisley within the Glenifer Braes Country Park. This is a photograph from an old Paisley, and that shows the old house, Glen House, in the early part of the 20th century. And then basically the same photograph a few years ago. We've been working in this site for something like 18 years. No,
it's about 2008, 2009.
2008, 2008. My maths isn't very good. And we got quite a bit of support. It was previously, as well as the kitchen garden. Subsequently, the council used it as a nursery for growing bedding plants that they would plant out in the local parks and spaces. They had a tree nursery here at one point as well. But it had kind of fallen. The council kind of moved out of this area, bought in a lot of plants rather than growing their own. So the nursery, the Glen Park, the growing Glenburn site was kind of derelict for a number of years. So it became very overgrown. It's divided into 4 quadrants, so we've kind of reclaimed 3 of them. The other one is really as it was and it's grown into kind of nature. This is a kind of example of how we've set it out. We have got 23 plots, approximately 5 meters by 5 meters. Some of them are divided into 2, and people might want just a small area. And in other cases, you'll have a whole plot. We have 20 plus raised beds at the moment. Some people just have a raised bed. Others use a raised bed in conjunction with a plot. We've also got 3 polytunnels, which we've had for quite a long time, which extend the growing opportunities into some more delicate, perhaps marginal plants. As you can see, we're in an area with lovely wooded park. Sometimes it's a bit too shady, but generally it's a really nice, quiet, social, peaceful site. Lots of bird song, and lots of dog walkers around as well. Anyway,
that's our bothy.
That's our bothy.
We can meet up and brew up a cup of tea. And
I think this was taken last year when John the gardener was there doing an assessment for us. He's out of picture. We didn't want to give him too much publicity, but that's a few of our members, and looking quite nice on a sunny day. It's been good. I think we've been part of the It's Your Neighbourhood group for certainly the last 10 years, probably more than that. And that always kind of provides a bit of a focus for us. It's good to get a wee kind of comments and information from somebody coming along to the garden. It's not competitive, but I suppose we always feel let's make an effort to get the place into some sort of order. As well as the plots and raised beds, polytunnels, we've got quite a lot of fruit trees. I think this is an example of the bumper crop that the stone fruits provided this year, with apples, plums, pears. I still haven't really had an awful lot of pears, but we've had some lovely plums and apples, and some soft fruit. We have a soft fruit cage as well. So in general, most people grow vegetables. Some people grow flowers, and we have lots of kind of communal spaces that could be used. This was just an example that it must have been in the autumn. I think it was back in October of last year, during some of the fairly severe storms. This was a lovely big birch tree which was split by, I think just the heavy winds, excessive rains, and so on. So we've actually worked over the winter period, not to cut down all of the woodland by any means, but we've thinned out bits. And I suppose that's an example of some of the issues that the changing climate is bringing to everybody. And we're quite lucky in that the site obviously does get potentially damaged by winds, but it's fairly sheltered. We get lots of rain. but that's common to most people. And I think in the west of Scotland, we probably had less rain this period than those further east have over the January, February period. Composting, I think this was an example of a picture that I had posted because I get frustrated. People don't seem to understand or don't follow suggestions that you don't put branches and stuff in compost bins that are not going to compost in. But I won't go on about that too much. That's my own personal rant. Yeah, recently we've this to some extent goes back to our work with Bernardo's. Bernardo's locally were utilising the garden. We had a close relationship with Bernardo's, and hopefully that will be rekindled. But in the meantime, the Ross, who worked with Bernardo's and would work with some young people in the Bernardo's Works initiative that was working with maybe 16 to 20-year-old people who were maybe struggling to get into employment. Anyway, Ross introduced some of these dead hedges, and that takes in lots of the sustainable things. As you can see, we've got lots of bird nesting, bird boxes, etc. We also have some beehives on the site. Angela, one of the volunteers, works with those, and hopefully this year we'll get another bumper crop of honey. We have quite close links. I mentioned Bernardo's, but we have links. That's my timer. We have close links with other local groups. TCV, the Conservation Volunteers, they've been fairly active in the west of Scotland, I'm sure all over. They had a nice tree walk with us in the park. We, as mentioned, Bernardo's, there's a fair number of groups now that are looking at various climate issues in our area. We've got the RENCAN, which is the Renfrewshire Climate Action Network, and obviously the Clyde Climate Forest Project. These are things that we're aware and have some degree with. The Ada Aspen Project is also based in this part of the world, and over the recent past we've had really good links with an organisation called Open Eye, AYE, who are doing a kind of glossary, a green list of all the kind of growing grounds and spaces in the Renfrewshire area.
And they're also doing a woodlands project, and they hope to involve us. They've got some money actually, and they want to involve us in ways that we can make use of the woodland, both in our garden and in the wider Glen Park.
Wellwoods. Quick couple of things. You mentioned, Juliet, the insurance. Clearly, yeah, we use that. The RHS NFU Mutual costs us about £100 a year, covers liability, etc. So, okay. Questions? Yeah. Fees, for plot fees, we don't charge a lot. We don't actually have to pay anything for the site. The council are quite happy for us to use it. We charge 30 quid for the 5 by 5 metre plot, £15 annually for raised beds, or half a plot.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. And yeah, I should have looked at my summary. I have a summary of entries and how long everyone's been taking part. I forgot to look, but you're right. It probably is.
Yeah, we've been possibly as long as you've been involved, Julia.
Yeah.
Quite as long.
Oh, so would you say the main benefits are the visit, the report, getting recognised?
The report's been helpful, yes. Covered lots of aspects of the kind of gardening achievement stuff that we were looking at, and it's given us pointers for things to look towards in the future. We've linked in with one or two of the online sessions. Obviously, there's not as many, or there wasn't the annual kind of meetup in Stirling, which used to happen, which was always quite good to come along to and meet other people. We have, I think it kind of consolidates the network that there's one or two groups locally that are also involved in It's Your Neighbourhood project. So that's good to get that network going. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you both. I know I only asked Sandy and Francis yesterday, so thank you very much for agreeing to speak. I think we've got, is it Mary from Riverside Naturally that's going to share a little bit about? Where are you, Mary? Hi, Mary.
Hello.
It might it might be useful if you could say, just because I know there's some groups that that are maybe setting up a project, just any, I guess, how you managed, because your project's slightly different, how you brought the community along with you, and then what you benefit from being part of the network. That'd be great.
Sure, absolutely. Well, yeah, sorry, I'm Mary from Riverside Naturally, and we are a small community group. Really, we work on an environmental basis. So at the heart of what we do is really wildlife. So we have pretty natural spaces, shall we say. We have been set up since 2019, and we are actually very near to the relative hustle and bustle of Stirling city centre. Actually, we're only a few minutes walk away from there, but we're sort of nestled in the meanders of the River Forth, down beside the river, where we have otters and beavers and all sorts of lovely wildlife. So we look after 4 parcels of land down there. We are Riverside Naturally, and we are looking after an orchard area where we have pollinator beds and compost area, and the start of a diverse grassland area, and a big pollinator bed. We also have 2 woodland garden areas and a very wild area further up to the riverbank towards town, which is just protected and allowed to just do its own thing and be a haven and a pantry for wildlife, and is part of the ARC system, which is run by Mary Reynolds, that some of you may know. Thank you, John. So we do have some really beautiful plants, and we do look after everything well, but we have, because we garden in a very wildlife friendly way and a very sort of natural looking way, it's perhaps taken some of our community a bit of time to understand what we were doing. What we do is put up a lot of information. So we have a pretty good website. One of our trustees has built our website, and we have lots of information there. We have WhatsApp chats. We have information boards and QR codes at each of our sites explaining what it is we're doing. And we send out regular newsletters. And really just trying to share what we're doing with people. And eventually I think the community are being won over by that. And one of the ways I think we've managed to do that is something I found a name for recently. It was what we were actually doing, but Charlie Harper, I think, who's the head gardener down at NEP, he had a top 10 list of Wilding Gardens information, and number 8 on it, if I can find my notes, was Q to Care. It's called Q to Care. Place orderly frames around messy ecosystems. And we thought, thanks, Charlie, that's what we're doing. But we've found a name for it now. And we started off with having paths mown through our long grass, and keeping the edges clear at our orchard. And people started to say, yeah, you're doing that on purpose, there's a reason for it. And that was a real breakthrough for us. So we've continued to work in that manner, where we are keeping sharp edges to our woodland garden areas, where we're building our pathways, but keeping them really neat and tidy, so that people are seeing that we have a really lovely wild area, which is actually full of beautiful plants, but these edges, etc., are starting to make them realise that the place is cared for. So yeah, I think also holding lots of events. We are really big on community events. So we have our Orchard Day, we have Blossom Day. We have lots of things where people can just come along and have tea and cake with us. This year we will be having a picnic for volunteers, where they can just sit about. They don't have to do any work whatsoever. Just lots of things like that, lots of engagement with our community, and people are encouraged to come and have a coffee break with us when we do our annual monthly sessions, and they can just stop us and ask us what we're doing, and we'll chat away. As our long-suffering assessors know, we like a good chat. So yeah, that's us really. I could go on forever, but I shall be brief. What we get out of being a member, particularly of interest to people maybe that are just going to be joining, is our annual our annual assessments. And I think we started off with being a bit nervous about that because we didn't know whether being a real wildlife focus at the heart of absolutely everything we're doing would get us there. But our assessors have, every one of them, been fantastic, really engaging and supportive of what we're doing, and really listening to us, giving us great advice. When we get that report, it's such a confidence boost to us, and we can share our award certificates with the local community, and that also has really helped us. So we always publicise that. We have them up on our main notice board at our orchard too, and people are starting to, see me in the street or talk to me somewhere else and say, "Oh, you all won an award." I'm going, "Yeah, we did, but actually we're only runner-up, but I'll take that." So all of that together has really helped us. John, sorry, I'm not reading chat particularly well there while I'm trying to speak, but you mentioned about the ARC. Now, the ARC, if you look online for wearethearc.org, that is an organisation where we make, it's acts of restorative kindness, is what it's short for. And it's really about being kind, not being too tidy, making sure that we have, if we can't give over our whole areas to wildlife, that we give part of that over, that we have kindness at our heart, that we're always looking after the wildlife around us. And us at Riverside Naturally, we tend to think of our community as being everything that's around us. So it's not just the people, although we want to bring them along and they're very important to us, but it's everything from the beavers in the river to our gorgeous plants to the woodlice that are going through the rotten wood. Absolutely everything is welcome, and we hope that we apply that to every single thing that we do. Sorry, I know I've just talked quite a lot there, Juliet. So just to
it's all really, really useful. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I think for this year going forward, because we did think last year, that's all that we do is get our assessments and a report, which are fantastic. But we really wanted to be working more with you this year, just to taking more advantage of the resources that are on offer, and also just maybe being a bit more engaged with other people in the group. I mean, we do engage a lot with groups locally, but we would really like to be able to sort of give back to Keep Scotland Beautiful, because you've been fantastic with us and we enjoy being part of it, your neighbourhood, so much. Juliet, you're always amazing. And one of the things we're doing this year, because we're having a real problem with dog fouling in our 2 woodland garden areas, I'm sure you've all probably experienced that lovely event when you look down at your work boots and think, "Oh, what is that?" And after several months of constantly having to clean my boots, we were thinking, what on earth are we going to do here? So Juliet introduced me to the hashtag Finish the Jobby campaign. So we now have posters printed off, laminated and stuck in our woodland areas. So hopefully that will engage our dog walkers, of which there are many. It's a really busy dog walking area, but what we want to do is just make them stop and think and just be aware of where the dogs are going and to clean up after them. Most people do, it's just some people don't, and it is actually becoming a bit of a problem, particularly if we have volunteers working and they're bending down or they're using tools in the area. It's really unpleasant. So we are treading carefully with that, and also being diplomatic at the moment with the people in the community who have dogs too, because we don't want to make that it is a big issue, but we want to handle that diplomatically. So we'll keep you up to date with how we get on with that. Otherwise, we are just wanting to look at all the resources that are available to us online, and also we were keen on the theme for 2026 about the volunteers, because we, as probably many of you, are looking for more volunteers. So that will help us this year, because we have been trying to provide more diverse activities for people who come to volunteer with us, and we've used a hashtag More Than Gardening now as one of our sort of taglines, because we want to encourage people who are maybe not interested in gardening or weeding. And we are doing things like weaving, so we're using our huge amounts of dogwood that we have when we're trimming, we're using that to weave into our willow arbour, we're using it for fencing. We're making circles, windows to go into our willow arbour for the children to play in and sort of peek out the windows as they're sitting there. Also, it helps the structure of the willow arbour. That's been fantastic. So we're using an awful lot of that, and we've already got a couple of people who weren't gardeners but are like, I would love to do that. So they're round doing willow weaving and dogwood weaving. And so because we try to use up as much as we possibly can on site, and also take in things from the local community that would maybe have gone to landfill. So, if there's stones or, whatever, somebody's given us some slates, all that sort of thing. If we think we can reuse that, we will encourage them to give it to us and we'll use it on our sites. So we'll be following along with the volunteer year theme closely and seeing what we can do. And I think I've talked quite enough there, so thank you so much. Thank you, wonderful assessors, and we will continue to talk your ears off every time you come to visit us.
Thank you so much, Mary. And I know there's a few questions. We'll come to them in a bit. So I'd like to introduce one of our volunteers, since you've talked about our volunteers. Angela's been volunteering with us for quite a long time. So Angela, very shortly, could you share, I guess, a little bit about you and then why you volunteer for us and what you get out of it, and then anything else you want to say?
Thank you, Juliet. Good evening, everybody. It's lovely to see you all this evening. I think for me, I'm Angela Smith, and I've been volunteering with Keep Scotland Beautiful for quite a number of years now. I think probably, Juliet, it's about 10 years I've been volunteering with Keep Scotland Beautiful, so thoroughly enjoy it. Being part of Keep Scotland Beautiful Climate and Nature Friendly Family, I have to add that in, family network it's been hugely positive, a hugely positive boost for me. I truly and thoroughly enjoy feeling connected to your community growing groups and sharing, the same passion for protecting our environment and strengthening local places. Volunteering gives me a meaningful way to offer some support, and I find it incredibly inspiring to meet with and visit the groups, the community growing groups across the west of Scotland. I'm based here, just central belt west of Scotland, I live in Landbank, so I'm sort of usually around about the sort of central belt west that I go out and mentor. I like the word mentor rather than assess, because it's not really assessing. We're not really there to assess you, are we? Just so you know that before a volunteer, as a volunteer, and I know a lot of the other volunteers feel the same, you get quite excited. You're really looking forward to meeting with and finding out and seeing what you've all been up to in that year. So it really is incredibly inspiring. The energy, the passion, the deep connection that you as groups have with your communities really is quite remarkable, and it's quite infectious as well. You make such a real difference for people and for place, and especially for bringing people together. I find the assessing and mentoring just something that I look forward to every year, and it's so uplifting to meet such wonderful people like yourselves, and also to sort of build friendships, which I feel I have built friendships for life, and see firsthand the positive impact that you have on your communities, the difference in so many people. I know you are all maybe, I don't know what's happened, that video's come off. Is it still, am I still here? Yeah,
I didn't want to interrupt you. We can still hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, that's strange. I don't know what's happened. I live rural, so it might be that the connection's just wavering. Sometimes it does that. So I apologise that I'm not on view. But no, it's just so inspiring. It's almost like through the garden keyhole as well, where it's quite exciting, especially when it's a new group that you've never been to before, and maybe in a new area, and finding out all the different ways that you connect with your communities and make a difference. So, I mean, hats off to you all. You're absolutely amazing, and I love being part of it. And I will continue to do this, probably and hopefully for another 10.
At least. Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That was quite a lot to take in, I know, everyone. But if I know there's some questions in the chat that people have got questions they want to ask a particular group or something they want to share, a question for me. Feel free to unmute or raise a hand. Don't be shy. We're friendly. Anyone? No questions? I don't believe that.
No, I will unmute because I've never met any of you before, and I'm here representing Green Shoots that's up in Perthshire. I think it was Gordon that you spoke to, and we have built a community walled garden at Aberdeggy Church that we would love to be a part of this because it really fits with the ethos that we're doing. Because we have in our walled garden, we've got fruit trees, we've created a massive play area for children, we've got a fire pit, we've got a barbecue. We also teach traditional skills, which is stonemasonry and woodworking. And it was set up as a project by the minister and a trustee who's no longer with us, Pat Robb, as a green space. And basically the minister was like, I have this massive garden. I don't need a massive garden. So here, have this garden. And we also have an ancient burial ground. So we've got children from like Bertha Park, Perth Grammar, now Starfish Way, which was the Duke of Edinburgh. And they're looking after the big project we're doing just now is looking after the ancient burial site where we've got medieval graves and things like that. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to say hi to everyone and what a great network this would be for us to be involved in. So hello.
Thanks so much for sharing. John was asking where in Perth or Perthshire are you?
So we are Aberdeggy. So it's Aberdeggy and Forteviot. So it's basically just outside of Perth, where they've built. It's kind of like the Lower Erne, so it's like Bridge of Erne, Dunning, all that kind of rural sort of area. And Aberdeggy Church was because obviously Church of Scotland are selling off a lot of places that can't be multi-use, but they are keeping Aberdeggy. So we are actually refurbishing the church itself to be multi-use, to be able to host like groups and exhibitions, and we're doing a lot for like early years and play groups and wellness and well-being and stuff like that. So we've kind of just been at project point. And then I've come on latterly because I started off with them to write grants and get funding and get money for it all. And now I've kind of moved over into the kind of community support work side of it. And we've got a wonderful head gardener, Ingrid, who's just amazing. She's also a yoga teacher, so she does all wellness. And we have a massive success story in our other gardener, Michael, who came to us as a vulnerable adult and volunteered, and now he has went to Perth College. So he's doing his HND in horticulture, and he's now opened his own landscaping business. So he is now one of our gardeners as well, and he's now actually just taken on a young man to help him do that as well.
I would love that as a good news story for the newsletter if you ever fancy writing it.
Oh well, they've actually for Michael there was Perth College have done a massive write up on him, so I'll send you the link for that so you can put that in, and he would love that.
Brilliant, thank you. The questions in the chat about dog filing, I will make sure in the next newsletter I put the info that I sent to Mary about. We've got downloadable posters and things like that, so I'll make sure you get the resources. Rachel, you've got your hand up.
Hello, thank you. Just a couple of questions. One is just if anybody has any recommendations for a free e-newsletter platform. And we have been using MailChimp the last year, but they're starting to charge. We've got about 350 odd contacts that we email out to. So if anybody has any recommendations on a free platform, I've heard of HubSpot, but I'm going to try that one next. But just to ask that, and another question for Grow in Glenburn, if that's okay, just to ask how you thinned your trees. Do you have somebody with a chainsaw certificate, or did the local authority come in and do that for you? Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Has anyone got any recommendations for the free online platform for newsletters? Oh, there's one gone in the chat, Rachel. System with an E, IO. Is that right, Louise? Have I said that right? Cool. Thank you. And then...
Well, thanks, Louise.
And then Sandy and Francis about the trees.
We were actually we didn't get a qualified arborist, as probably technically we should have, but a number of the group have kind of come together to do some cutting back, nothing terribly large scale, but as well as you saw that picture of the tree, we did cut down that birch tree that had been damaged by the winds and so on. Perhaps we should have been a bit more meeting requirements of health and safety. I shouldn't be promulgating any do-it-yourself tree cutting, but there was an element of that without going too
into detail. And
we have now some nice log piles and wildlife spaces for various bugs and beasties, which we're more than happy to encourage.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, I guess it depends how big the tree is, doesn't it? Thank you.
Yeah. Rachel, there's another recommendation for the newsletter in the chat. MailerLite is free for up to 500 subscribers. Might be
amazing. Thanks so much. That's brilliant.
Cool. And I know, oh, sorry, Pam, you've got your hand up.
Hi there. I just wanted to introduce us, if that's okay, just very briefly. We're new to this, and we all live in the Wineford housing estate in Maryhill in Glasgow, and we've been gardening on a sort of ad hoc basis for the last sort of 3 years, but I've just been getting organised in this last few months, and now with Constitution and looking for funding. But I just wanted to say hello and see if there's any similar out there. We have it's a housing estate, 60s built, but we have 55 acres that we sit on, and we're keen to do a whole mix of things. We have raised beds, in-ground beds. We have 3 wildflower meadows. We're looking to expand. So we're really, really keen. If there's anybody out there working in a similar sort of landscape environment, then yeah, please do give me a shout at the Wineford gardening group. I could put our email address down in the chat. That's okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
That sounds fantastic. You've got a massive area to work in. It sounds like you've done loads already. Is there anyone in the chat that is doing similar that wants to share? Like I say, Pam, so I'm going to be emailing this out, the recording out to all of the networks, so you never know, someone might get in touch. Bob, I did say, would you like to chat when I emailed you? So if you want to share about your group, why you take part or why you volunteer, Bob from Blooming Inverkip, then feel free.
Hi there, Juliet. Thank you very much. I think I may as well just introduce myself then. So my name is Bob Russell, and I've been involved in running the Blooming Inverkip group from the Inverkip Community Hub since 2019. And we've been part of the It's Your Neighbourhood campaign since that time. And I think for myself, like, I kind of look at it, I'm coming to this from a slightly different perspective in the sense that I've kind of come full circle to a degree, where initially when we first started, we didn't know what we were doing. We were running around, just not with, too much in the way of experience. And then we found out about Keep Scotland Beautiful. I started to see, some of the other kind of groups that were there, and really just kind of gained a bit of inspiration. And I think really that's what a lot of it is about for us, and hopefully for some of the newer groups, is the inspiration that you get from the other groups that are part of the network. We started off a very small group, and then we've just kind of gathered momentum as time has went on. We have lots of different kind of aspects to what we do now. We work with the schools, which I think is a really important part of what we do. We also work with the
Looks like Bob's dropped off. Oh no, hopefully he can return. And we've got sort of 7 minutes left. If any of our volunteer family want to share anything, what they get out of it, what they think about the network. I might pick on some volunteers if no one speaks.
Good evening. I'm Ian
Hi,
Mitchell.
Ian.
I'm an assessor or a mentor for It's Your Neighbourhood. Also, I'm the Vice Chairman of Environmental Improvements. Been with Keep Scotland Beautiful for about 10 years, I think, is Juliet, maybe a bit more. Go around the groups and seeing the different groups, what they can do, and you can take away some aspects of the stuff for yourself. It's just great to see what people can do, what gardening groups can do, what impact they can do. Their schools involved, the local groups, their church groups involved, local different groups involved as well, and what other people can do around their areas across the whole of Scotland. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you, Ian. Oh, looks like we've got Bob back.
Yeah, sorry, I don't. We just seem to disappear. Can you hear me now, Juliet?
Yes, can.
Hi there. Sorry about that. Technology and all that. You know how it is. I think really, from my perspective, we are always looking to progress every year. And the really I think I was talking about working with schools. I think it's very important, but one of the things that we have done from
Oh no, I think we'll have to leave that. Apologies to Bob if he comes back on again. Anyone else got anything? No, should I? Oh, hi, Amanda.
Hi, I just want to say, for anybody who hasn't joined, I would recommend definitely, because it is a very inspirational group. Juliet and all the other guys that are involved are just at the end of the phone or the email, and I think for us, we weren't gardeners at the time, and we were looking for people just to say, sorry, I've got a printer just decided to work in my background. It never works. Now it's just randomly working. So I'll talk louder. It's just to say join, because it's the best thing certainly to do. Because everybody's inspirational, and it's not. I know you guys have got a bit of competitiveness, but it's not for the It's Your Neighbourhood. It's very, very supportive. And it's nice to be part of a national organisation. We're very like-minded people. So I just want to share something. I don't know if she's still in line, but probably because of being involved with Keep Scotland Beautiful for so long now, but that's a sign print again. It's I feel like this place is spooked now. We've now got a student who's actually joined Burnload Action Group because she's been inspired by the community development work. So that might not have taken place had we not had the inspiration to continue with Keep Scotland Beautiful. And Louise is still there. So there you go. So Louise is studying community education and has seen the community development work firsthand down in Burn Road. So that has been kept with the 3 pillars that Keep Scotland Beautiful put towards us. So that gives us something to work towards, and we're now inspiring other people around us. So, and education as well. And I'm going to switch off because my printer is going mad.
Thanks so much, Amanda. And yeah, thank you. Amanda spoke at our seminar last year, which you can find the link online to watch. Yeah, very inspiring chat about the challenges and how you've overcome them by it's the community, everyone pulling together. And yeah, well done, Louise. Okay, well, I'll just round off by saying thank you so much for attending, and for those of you that have contributed and shared why you take part. And any questions, drop me an email. Hopefully those groups that aren't registered yet, don't forget to register before 5th of April. And yeah, just lovely to see you all, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.